Hey, Ed here. So we're going to look at 20 plank compilation put together. We're going to start with the beginner's plank, which is the half plank, knees on the floor. And you want to make sure your back is as neutral as you can. So make sure it's nice and flat, as you can see, pushing the bum down there, squeezing the stomach into the back as much as you can, and squeezing the glutes, the bum, really fires up the abdominal area. Then we're going to go into our high plank. So keeping the arms straight, the legs straight, and again, squeezing that abdominal area into the back as much as you can. Also fire the glutes up and squeeze those too, which will get more from your abdomen. Going down into low plank, exactly the same, just onto your forearms, making it harder by having your hands flat down on the mat or the floor, or wherever you choose to do it. Again, just making sure that the glutes and abs are really fired up. Into our first working plank with the hip dip plank, all you do is keep the legs together, feet together, and hips side to side, touch the floor in that rolling motion. Slightly harder. Going into the side plank, the standard side plank, keeping the hips neutral, as straight as you can, body straight. You can raise the arm if you want to make it slightly harder. You can also raise the leg, which we will do now, and that's called a side plank, which is also known as a flag as well, or a side flag, human flag. There's plenty of names for these exercises, lots of different names, as you probably have found out already. Going into the plank drag, just get a weight. I prefer a kettlebell, and you just drag the weight from side to side, keeping the core as still as you can. And you can really feel the effects of this one. Now we're going to go into our explosive plank. As you can see, exploding from the floor into a high plank, keeping that core nice and still every time you do it. This really is an advanced plank. And going into another advanced plank now, a levered plank. Get the feet and hands as far away from each other as possible, so you really stretch out that body, go as close to the floor as you can, and make sure that you have a good non-slippery floor for it. Going into the Spider-Man plank, these are great for the V shape, the V cut that we all desire. Bring the knee into the elbow each time. Keep that bum down nice and low so the back is flat and you're really focusing on the obliques each time you crunch to the side. Going straight into the shoulder tap. High plank, basically, just tapping the shoulders alternatively on each side and keeping the core nice and still. Intermediate plank here, not too advanced. Any of these planks you can do, remember, you can go onto your knees to make it easier. Going to plank jacks, one of my favorites. Keeping the bum nice and low. Keep that abdomen squeezed into the lower back, squeeze into the back, and keep the legs jumping in and out as straight as you can. This is a great exercise, an advanced one as well. Into the fingertip plank. So guess what? It's on your fingertips. This is an advanced plank. Again, keeping the back neutral, stomach tight, pushed into the back, and squeeze the bum, squeeze your glutes all the time doing these planks. Keep the head as neutral as you can. And going into the plank with leg lift. So just a standard plank, raising the leg each side and holding it. This will really work the glutes as well. This is the super advanced plank movement. So the one arm plank, one arm behind your back. Again, squeeze that stomach, squeeze it into your back, squeeze the glutes. and make sure you do the same amount of time on each side. And again, like with all of these planks, you can go onto your knees just to build up that strength before you advance into the full plank, as it were. Okay, high to low plank. This is a great one. Keeps you moving, gets difficult. Keep that stomach tight and squeeze those glutes. When you do both, you really do fire up the core, your abdomen. Okay, into the rocking plank, back and forwards, slight rock each time, keeping the bum as low as you can. As long as you can feel the abs working and burning, then that's all that matters. Now going into the high plank toe tap, keeping the legs straight as possible, and then getting the fingers to the toes. Okay, so you get that full range each time. Keep the stomach tight into the back. Then we got our plank side bridges, so just into a side plank, and then we move up and down. You can also do this in a high plank position, which is slightly harder, which would make it advanced. You could also do this one with your knees on the floor and feet slightly bent round, if that was too hard. So onto our final plank. This is the hardest, scorpion plank. And the aim is to get your toes right over your back like a scorpion stinger. Yeah, so you've got to really reach those toes right over. There obviously will be some flexibility issues potentially with people doing this one. However, this is an advanced movement, so this is something you would progress to and work up to. Just keep those abs nice and tight into the back at all times, so your spine's nice and neutral. And there you go. There's your 20 planks.